Welcome to the Inglorious Blasters podcast, the Star Wars Legion podcast talking anything and everything glorious or inglorious about the game. My name is Koray, and with me today is the highest-ranking Imperial officer, Brendan. How's it going, my dude?
I'm definitely not the highest-ranking Imperial officer.
Okay, that's just fine. You're the highest-ranking friend in the Legion sphere. All right. I didn't want to do an insult today because, like, last time felt real bad.
Last time was funny.
Last time was funny. So we got a fun podcast for everyone today. We got lots to talk about. We got the Nova tournament. Brendan and I just came back from. Then we got some fan mail we're going to answer. And AMG just released a bunch of news, right? They put out a couple of news ticket items that we're going to talk about. But before we begin, let's give a shout out to a couple of our sponsors of the podcast. I'd like to give a shout out to Baron of Dice. Check out baronofdice.com, his Faraway Galaxy collection for all your Star Wars Dice Legion needs. He's got a bunch of different dice for certain factions, right? So like any faction you play, you can kind of customize to your liking. And they look really sweet. There's kind of a more marbled set, and then there's a more clear set. It looks great. I just bought his Infinity dice while I was at Nova. That's not related to Legion, but they also look great. So check out baronofdice.com. Use checkout code GLORIOUS for a little bit of a discount. Brendan, tell us all about our 3D printing needs.
Yep. Do you like playing Legion? Tired of playing on books and old cans? Then you want some 3D printed terrain? Panhandle 3D will be the best source for you. High quality prints delivered right to you. You don't have to worry about it. And then all you have to do is hobby it up to your liking, or don't hobby it up and just play on some plastic, which looks better than the books and cardboard you were already playing on. So Panhandle 3D, Etsy store, and use code GLORIOUS for a 15% off discount.
So what happens when you got all your dice flowing around? Like they're knocking minis off the table? You got to keep those dice contained. And you keep them contained using that sweet dice tray from The Dice Must Flow on Etsy. Check them out. If you use checkout code IGBlaster, you'll get a nice discount. They can put anything on a dice tray. So we use them for our Inglorious Blasters logos. They look amazing. They come in a variety of different colors, and you could do custom printing. Check them out. They look great. So we would also like to highlight a couple upcoming tournaments, right? So there's Crucible, September 29th. You're going to Disney. You're going to go play some Legion. You're going to hang out with some friends. I say it all the time. You're going to build a lightsaber. You're going to go ride the Millennium Falcon. Hopefully get a good team.
Someday I'll do those things.
One day Brendan will go to Disney.
One day.
We'll take you there. We'll take you there, Brendan.
We'll get me there eventually.
Yeah. Then we also got the St. Laurent Open. That's October 21st and 22nd for specifically Legion. There's another weekend for other miniature games, but check out that one. That's going over in Canada. So let's get to the main topic today. Nova tournament.
Nova.
That just happened at DC. Big shout out to Hobbs for running it. The Nova personnel for like running a great convention as usual. And big shout out to Dave for streaming it, Yavin Base on YouTube. And yeah, overall it was a great time. Brendan, what'd you think? Did you have a great time?
I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Met a lot of new people. I gotta say, it was really nice. I only had, of my 6 games, I only had 1 repeat opponent. So I got to play 5 new people, which was great. So I had a blast. Little disappointed I missed out on some of the social aspects of it because I drove back and forth each day back home. So I was usually just tired after 3 games of Legion and didn't want to stick around and figure out what people were going to do. So because it was like an hour drive each way, so I was tired.
That's fair. Yeah, when you're driving, it's kind of rough to socialize right afterwards. I think we didn't even do dinner until like 8:30 one night. So yeah, I don't blame you for leaving.
No, too late.
Man, I'm going to quickly insert this here because I don't want to talk about it for very long, but that hotel experience for me and many others is not great.
I have heard.
Yeah, I wrote a long-winded survey to the Nova team just to let them know that hotel was not great. But I understand some things were not in their control, right? For example, the hotel key situation where they couldn't make a hotel key for like 3 days for like the residents. That's fine. I understand that one. But there was a whole bunch of other stuff that stacked up. Food was expensive.
Yes, Evan Bulris, in his most recent podcast episode with the Fifth Trooper, he did the airing of the grievances. So if anybody wants to know more about grievances, go ahead and listen to that podcast.
Yeah, go listen to the Fifth Trooper. Evan does a great job of detailing all the 12, I think, grievances.
Yes, the 12 general grievances, they called them.
Right. Right. I'm not going to rehash it. Evan and I had very similar experiences. Maybe minus his car.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Yeah. Anyways, okay. Like I said, that's the last time I'm going to bring that up. Let's get into the games. Brendan, do you want to go over your first round opponent and stuff like that?
Yeah. So in the previous episode, I was still waffling very hard on what list I was going to bring. And I think I waffled a little too hard, so much so that I went back in time and I played Vader double IRG. So I named the list, wait, what year is it? Because I had no clue what I wanted to run.
You waffled all the way back in time, man.
I went backwards in time. It was crazy. Unfortunately, it was later in one of my games where my opponent realized I made a terrible mistake in naming my list, and came up with a better one. It's an older list, but it checks out.
Oh, that's a good one too.
So I'm going to have to remember that if I ever waffle so hard again.
Yeah, right, if you go back in time.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go over all three of my games, but I'm going to give a shout out to each of my opponents day one. For round one, I played against Ben. Round two, against Adam. And then round three, against Raul. And all three games were a lot of fun. I had never played my list before, so I was definitely learning the list as I was playing it. It's all units I've used before, but not necessarily in that group. I gotta say, I played nothing but Empire day one. So it was... The first list I played against had a Iden. I can't remember all the lists perfectly. Pretty sure there was an Iden in there and a Vader. And then my second game was a Callus and Boba Fett and Iden. And then my third game was Vader and a Gav tank. Yeah, and also games 1 and 3 also had some dewbacks on the table, so it was all sorts of fun. I ended up losing my first two games, and then I won my third game, and that was mostly just because Vader's might is overpowered, and when you're playing key positions. So, other things, I mean, all the games were fun. They were all competitive and close. My defense dice kind of weren't there pretty much the whole tournament. I had numerous times where I'm rolling red defense dice. I'm rolling 5 defense dice. Averages say you should be getting, 3 of those to be blocks. I'm getting nothing. So that felt a little bad on my part. But my offense dice, on the other hand, were on fire. At the critical hit tournament, Koray, someone had noticed the way I roll my dice. And so consciously now I'm trying to roll them the same way. So, violently shake my dice, and then rather than just drop them into the tray or roll them into the tray, I'm kind of throwing them into the dice tray. Just viciously throwing them into the dice tray after shaking them.
Yeah, you gotta.
And apparently I'm getting a higher than average number of crits as a result. So much so that in my game with Raul, round 3, I had my T-21 Stormtrooper, so throwing 8 white dice, critical 2. I have 2 aims on this unit, because I spotted them and they took an aim. I ended up rolling 8 white dice and getting critical 2 plus 6 natural crits.
That's disgusting. I didn't know that number. You didn't tell me that the day of.
So disgusting. It was 8 crits into Vader. Vader had a dodge, so he could activate deflect.
Right, but
and then
but not
Vader
actually cancel a hit. That's funny.
No, but not actually cancel a hit. And then Vader rolls his 8 defense dice and gets 6 natural blocks and 2 surges.
Oh my god.
I couldn't have asked for a better roll on my attack, and then a perfect defense roll pops up.
That's frustrating. Take 2 wounds for your effort, sir.
Right? Oh man, that was just a fun moment, though. I mean, it was all 3 games. Day 1 were a lot of fun, but I end the day at 1 and 2, and I finally feel like I have got a handle on my list and what I want to do with it. So that was a lot of fun. How was your first day, Koray?
My first day was pretty good. I went 3-0 for the day, so like that's pretty nice. To quickly go over what I went, I ran Tempest Force, but it's not like a version that you're thinking. I ran 5 scouts with emergency transponders and the sniper, and then I ran 3 bikes, no upgrades. I ran 2 stormtroopers with HH-12s and recon intel, and then a Imperial officer with no upgrades. That's 11 acts and 16 point bid. I don't know if I was the highest bid. I didn't really check, but it feels like I was. Probably. So I really wanted my deck, so that's why I really, really chose to bid deep, and I could fit a ton of stuff and feel just fine, right? My list felt fine. Anyways, so all my opponents day 1 were awesome. Thomas, I played round 1. Listener of the show, I already had a dice tray from ACO, so props to him for using it. Hell yeah. And this was a fun game. It was he was running Rebels with the most glorious speeder in the game, and that is the land speeder. He had a land speeder and put R2 in there, and we played key positions, and he was going to get that extra victory point, so I had to go stop him. So we played, I think it was Disarray. Yeah, we played Disarray. So it was a ton of fun to try and manage both sides of the battlefield. My speeder bikes are going after his land speeder and R2, and then the rest of my scouts are handling Sabine and Clan Ren along with 2 Tauntauns. So there's a lot of battlefield management going on on both sides of the table, which is awesome. The cool play that I did there was Sabine is hiding behind a big line of sight blocker and can very clearly jump over it to do a huge explosions play on my scouts. Meanwhile, the Tauntauns are also lurking by. So I played the Tempest Force 3-pip to give out standbys. I gave out 3 standbys, so that made Sabine very hesitant to actually go engage, because otherwise she would eat 3 sniper shots. That's 30 dice, pierce 3 doesn't feel great. And so that was protection against that and the Tauntauns. I mainly ended up using them on the Tauntauns. The other 1 or 2 got shot off, which is fine. But it did give me enough time to pull a very heavily wounded scout team in order to go melee Sabine. So basically sacrificing himself in order to save the rest of my army, which turned out to be the right play. I felt it was kind of funny, the defense swings, because he was like, oh, well, I'm just going to use my Tauntaun instead to go murder these scouts. He rams into them and gets 1 hit and then converts 2. And then I roll 2 blocks, saving that saving my team to one model. That was absolutely disgusting. So that was a fun moment. We laughed about it. So
horrible person.
Yeah. Eventually killed R2 in the land speeder, but yeah, like he's using the vehicle we deemed glorious. I like the land speeder. It was a good choice.
You don't see it very often.
And he had the I forget it. The astromech that lets you do extra actions.
Oh, the unstable astromech.
Yeah, the unstable one. Yeah, that turned out to be pretty good. Like he got some solid hits there, but it was a fun game. Good opponent. Next round I played Joshua, also another listener of the podcast. So heck yeah, where news is spreading of the Inglorious Blasters. It's all going according to plan, right?
We have a plan?
No, we have no plan.
Okay.
Actually, he's running the list that John used to win his Worlds invite. Kind of. We're gonna get back to that later. But yeah, he ran John's list. It was like clones with like 2 barks, 2 RPS barks, and like Echo and stuff like that. And of course Anakin, right? Because Anakin's all the rage these days. Basically, I deployed poorly, and we played key positions, and I chose my key position poorly on disarray. I don't know how I won it, but I did. It was a close game. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was just I don't understand how I got that one. Anyways, then I played Tyler from Crit to Block. He was running a 8 activation separatist like Dooku Asajj list with, was it 3? It was either 2 or 3 Magna Guards. I don't remember. And a couple 1 repair bot and two med bots. So like he's all in on
the melee threat.
Guardian,
nice.
Dooku, and just healing those wounds. We played Danger Close. Danger Close breakthrough against 11X doesn't feel great. I just basically outzoned him, and then I played the 3-pip to like make him move cautiously forward. Dooku, I shot Dooku 7 times turn 1. And we played hostile, and he didn't remove one suppression at the end of the round. So when Dooku activates at the start of round 2, he fails his panic roll. He only gets 1 off, so he has a total of 6 suppression, and like Dooku just like sits there, and I'm like, okay, that's the game. It was kind of a rough matchup for him. I'm not sure what he could have done differently, but awesome opponent. We had a great time. Yeah, so that was my day 1, 3-0.
Nice, well done, Koray. So you said your last game was against Joshua, or was that?
Oh no, it was my second game. It was
your second game was against Joshua. Well, my first game, day 2, was against Joshua.
Nice, he got both blasters.
He got both of us. He kind of half joking during our choice for the mission and everything, joked, saying this was probably a bad idea. It turned out it was a bad idea because we ended up playing advanced positions, breakthrough, limited visibility.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! I'm sorry. No, that's just
it's like the perfect thing for Vader and double IRG.
Yeah. Man, lim vis plus a free scout. Oh,
so I felt very bad for him. I think it was the end of turn 3 or 4. Vader went down. He still has a full health Anakin, but basically all of his core are gone, and all of my core is basically untouched.
That'll do it.
So, yeah, we ended up calling it there. My next game was against Jordan, and let me say, this one was really fun. Nice. So, Jordan was playing Anakin Obi-Wan.
Nice. Okay. Double Force user, I dig it.
Double Force user versus my Vader IRG. That game was an utter blast, and I got exceedingly lucky in this one. Some fun notes from this one. Anakin had 10 suppression in the game. Twice.
Wait, 2 different times?
2 different times.
Okay. Wow, that's terrifying.
Yep. And the thing that really swung the game was he had a bark that was set up to kill my one guy left in a stormtrooper squad. We were playing key positions, and my shore troopers took a shot at the bark and got 4 hits with a 4 wound left bark, and the bark whiffed it.
Oof. That's rough.
That felt terrible. So it ended up I got 2 of the key positions, and we tied on the other one because that one lone stormtrooper was able to book it and get in a spot where he couldn't get shot, and just tie that position. I was able to kill Anakin. I didn't even bother trying to kill Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan, to me, is much scarier than Anakin, since he has unlimited potential to do wounds back.
Yes.
Anakin, I think, is the better unit, but Obi-Wan scares me more.
When you combine them both, it's kind of scary.
Yeah. Especially when Obi-Wan's also got barrier. They've both got defensive stance.
Yeah, of course they do.
It was a pretty tanky list, but I just went, all right, I know I need to kill Anakin, so I just kept shooting Anakin.
Yeah, yep. Right. You made the right choice.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And I had been joking all weekend, going, I've played nothing but red saves. I want to play a white save faction. Well, I get to play a white save faction in my final game against Craig, but he's got Mandos in the list, and he's playing Rebels. So he's playing...
Really.
No. So it's Cassian, Sabine, and some Mandos. End up losing this game. All credit to Craig. He played a great game. He's newer to the game. He only started back in the spring. But his list so outranged mine because I didn't have any long range stuff. And it was he positioned very well. The big highlight for me was foiling his plans with explosions.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We got to it was turn 2. I figured explosions is about to happen. Sabine's at the perfect range for this, so we tied on the 1 pips, and I won the roll off, and I went with Vader, and I pushed Sabine backwards just enough so that her mines weren't actually going to go off on anybody except herself and Vader. So they eventually do go off on this crazy scrum of a melee going on between Vader, Clan Ren, Squad of Mandos, Sabine, and one of my 2 IRG. All get hit by the bombs at one point in their crazy melee.
That's fun. Nice.
But yeah, no, he eventually Vader goes down, and I've barely killed anything, and he also had Pathfinders, and we were doing breakthrough, and they just deployed in the point, to score basically, and so it did not go well for me because he definitely outranged me. It was just a bad matchup for me, but congrats to Craig. So I ended the tournament at 3-3. So I can't be too upset at that.
Not bad for going to the way back win machine, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Look, you just need to I don't know, roll better defense dice or learn the defense dice technique for Vader. You got the attacking down.
Yeah, no, that's easy. Those things don't usually miss. So
right. That's fair.
I just need to find out my technique for rolling defense.
Yeah.
I've got my attack dice rolled down. I need my defense die rolled down.
You'll learn it. Guaranteed.
I doubt it.
I think if given the choice, I'd rather have better defense dice than attack dice.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyways,
eventually, maybe. Who knows?
Well done, sir. 3-3 is still not bad.
Yeah, I didn't have a losing record. Considering I started 0-2, I was really sweating.
Yeah, oof. I get it, man. It was grueling. It's 6 rounds, right?
Yeah, that's the most I'd played in 2 days before.
Yeah. Nice. So my day 2. Um, I don't want to call it a comedy of errors, but like kind of was.
I wouldn't call it a comedy of errors.
No, it's fine. It's fine. That was more day one. So my first game, I played a stream game, right? So you could check it out on Yavin Base. I believe he's got the VOD up.
He's working on cutting it up from the live stream, so yours
it.
should be the next one. It'll probably be up by the time we release this episode.
So I played against Sam. I played against Sam a couple times in the past, 2 other times, and I nearly squeaked out wins against him, like quite literally, like playing to my outs type of wins, right? So I had the bid, and we were playing Battle Lines, Breakthrough, and Supply. He balls up his clones behind like the most line of sight blocky buildings ever, right? There are a lot of buildings on this table. My range 5 scouts didn't get to do much shooting. And when they did, it really wasn't super effective because Boyle was hanging out nearby or he used barrier. So I couldn't use them to like great effect to like chip them down. So what I did instead was I held 2 scouts in on like my left-hand side of the board to try and play some sort of defense against his incoming army. And I remember Sam saying out loud, like, I'm really scared of those scouts. And I'm like, yes, please be scared of these scouts. So he cautiously moved his way up, right? Which gave the rest of my army enough time to like just mess around and go fly circles. Where I really messed up is like in my decision-making space. I tried to hedge bets in both decision points, right? I could either fight, like hop over the building and shoot, or I could just run. So I was having like a hard time deciding that. Hilariously, you can catch it on stream. I literally rolled a red defense die to help myself pick it.
That was hilarious, as was the commentary as a result.
Oh, I haven't listened back to the commentary on it, so I gotta check that out. Yeah, because I felt like, Brendan, you watched it. I felt like I took like way too long on that turn, so I was like, I just thought of it in the moment. And I was like, I'm just gonna roll a die between these two.
I gotta say, I don't want to ruin anything, but the commentary, especially towards the end of the game, is amazing.
Nice.
Because they all seem to think you have it, and they couldn't think of any way for you to lose it. And then somebody chimed in the chat, and they went, "Oh."
Got it. Yeah. There was, like I said, it's basically I made one real error, maybe 2, right? So I want to spend like some time on this to like just talk about, because this was like pretty interesting, and like I get to watch it back, right?
That's something I've always kind of wished I could do, is watch a game and realize where I've made my mistakes. Because it's one thing you can talk to opponents, but to be able to actually go back and watch and see what happened. Yeah,
to go back, watch yourself and yell at yourself, be like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? So I think the one is where I was alluding to earlier is I was trying to play in 2 worlds at the same time, like for decision making. He I think turn 3, he moved back with one of his turn 3 or turn 4. He moved back with one of his clones and took a standby. And at that point, I still haven't decided like whether or not those 2 scouts want to fight it out. So I took a bike, from my order stack, and I shot at it to turn off that standby, just in case. That was the wrong play. I should have rolled the defense die there to figure out my play, because I lost an act for basically no reason. So that kind of hurt my chances there. And then the other time was when I actually decided to run. I had 10 acts to go score, right? When Sam realized like, you're gonna make it, like, holy cow. I played the Tempest Force 2 pip, the one that gives them disengage, because I thought Anakin was like literally gonna make them, engage that turn, right? Like push him into himself. So it was that, plus I wanted to have orders on those 2 scouts because I was afraid of Sam hopping up on those buildings to take pot shots at them if I didn't have orders on them, right? like, let's say I pulled bike, officer, storm, like that feels real bad. And then they just get eaten up, and then I feel really bad. I didn't have orders on them. So that was my decision making there. I was like, all right, I'll just play it now. And then that kind of bit me in the butt. Sam did a great play where we called there was a land speeder on the table, and he force pushed my scout onto that land speeder. We called it difficult. So I had to like actually move slower than I wanted to. So that was a great play from him. So that definitely didn't help. And then it basically ended up into a turn 6 roll off. So what happened there was I lost the roll off. If I had won it, I would have scored more than him, because there was no way he could have I don't think there was a way he could have gotten all of them.
No, had you won that roll, you definitely would have won.
Yeah. And then I played to my outs because I laughed, and I remembered the other games I had with Sam where I had like lucky shots and like his defense dice didn't show up, right? So I was like, okay, maybe I have enough shots to kill Anakin, like from full to dead. I got him down to 3. Oh well, them's the breaks. Sam's a great player. He capitalized on my mistakes, right? So
yeah, I mean, shout out to Sam. He ended up going 6-0 over the 2 days, and he ended up being the runner-up of the tournament overall.
Yeah, Sam was fun to play against as usual, and a great opponent. He really knows what he's doing. Yeah, he's definitely leveled up a lot.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll go through the other games. I played against JoJo Binks. I love the name.
Great name.
It's a great name. And he played Yoda, some full arc teams, and like Echo and some other clone like nonsense, right? He was 8 activations, and during turn 0, we did a lot of passing, and I was like, oh, okay, you want to play bombing run? I was like, that's fine. And then as we were setting up, I just remembered, I was like, oh, you want to play bombing run? Okay. Because Yoda's actually not half bad at bombing run, which is funny because that was like his second game of bombing run ever. And then
that's 2 more games of bombing run than I've played.
Right. I think this was my official 3rd game of bombing run, maybe 4th. So I need more practice on bombing run. Please, someone give it to me. So I ended up losing this one. But he dived Yoda in. I was able to kill Yoda pretty quickly, which is nice. And then I was able to kill an arc team, and I goofed so hard because I don't play this objective often enough. He dropped 2 bombs that were in grabbing distance of scouts. I literally asked the judge, I was like, hey, if I pick up this bomb and this unit dies, can anyone blow it up? And they go, no, it's like neutral. No one could blow it up. I was like, okay. I literally asked the question. I did not pick it up. And then he moved 2 units to go take standbys on it. Yeah, so effectively canceling me out of like making that play. I felt real dumb about that. I didn't want to do it with my 2-man squad because it's like kind of a kill points game. So I was like, oh, I'll do it with my 5-man squad. Maybe it'll live. No, he definitely capitalized on that mistake. I should have just done it because I would have been in a way better spot with that neutral bomb just sitting there, because all 3 of mine would have went off and he would have had to come to me. So lessons learned. He was a great opponent. Also, Evan talked about it on his show, but I'm also going to talk about it on this show. We played bombing run, and he didn't have room to place his bombs inside his deployment zone, touching his unit leaders at the same time. So we both, I said to him, like, it's fine. Please move your minis so that there is space. It's cool. Let's actually play this game. Both of us had our like worlds invite. So I was like, as soon as I said, I was like, hey, like, this is low stake. I already have my worlds invite. He said the same exact thing. I was like, oh, all right, let's actually play the game. Don't try not to be jerks, everyone. That's all. Like, bombing run's one of those gotcha ones, and I really didn't want to do that. I'd rather learn. Anyways.
Or just don't play bombing run.
Or just don't play bombing run. But
I've made it this far.
That's fair. So anyways, he was a great opponent. He was awesome. And last game I played against Gus. Gus ran like a Moff Gideon single Death Trooper, like
Dark Trooper?
gunliney. Say again?
You said Death Trooper. I assume you
Yeah, I
meant
did
Dark
say
Trooper.
Death Trooper. I meant Dark Trooper. He had the Dark Troopers.
All right.
It took me like 2 turns in order to like whittle down the darks. And then he played that card. I love that card so much. The one where he gets to fly away. He flew away with 1 wound.
Obviously you love that card. There is
Yeah,
absolutely
I
no
love
sarcasm in your voice on that one.
I loathe that card. To his credit, he didn't fully fly them away because he wanted to influence his payload. Oh, I didn't just say what we played. We played payload. Ultimately, I was able to just shoot all of his stuff off, and then my scouts and storms lived enough in order to make the payload go through. My Imperial officer did a hero play to save the army. Here comes Moff Gideon, charging in at my storms. He does a swing, and then and then I go engage his Moff because he's got to sit there and deal with that officer first. This was at the beginning of turn 5. He aims, swings, and my officer saves it. So she lives on 1. So I was like, that kind of clinched me the game because he wasn't able to use Moff as like a potential disruption unit, on my payload. Anyways, it was a fun game. Ended up winning that one, and I ended the tournament 4-2. I got 13th place at Nova. So overall, my list was pretty good. I just made some silly mistakes. Can't wait to tweak it some more. Yeah.
Silly.
Yeah, it's always the silly ones. See, this is why I need practice with my list. I had a whole 2 games before Nova with this list. It was not enough.
That was more practice than I had.
I know, bud.
I know. It's fine.
It's all good. But anyways, Nova
Okay.
was an awesome time. Thank you very much to everyone. I don't think I thanked the terrain people yet. So Imperial Terrain John and Nick from Legion 99. Awesome terrain as usual. It was a blast to play on. And then obviously everyone else that I thanked in the beginning. Great time.
Yeah. Thanks to all the people who put it on. I know how difficult it is to put on a big event, and this was a great one.
Awesome. Well, with Nova out of the way, let's plug some socials and Discord, everyone's favorite, right? So, if you want to come chat with us, we got a Discord. Talk some Legion, show off your hobby work, show off pictures of your pets. We've got a channel for everything. The link is in the show notes. Love to see you there.
The Discord has been blowing up lately. We got a lot of new people.
We have a lot of new
lively
people,
now.
that's right. They're coming in droves now. They understand. They understand how awesome we are. Love to see you guys there.
Awesome.
You can find us on most popular podcasting apps now, including Spotify, Apple, Google, and YouTube. We'd really appreciate it if you leave us a rating and a review. That would really help us out. If you think our judgment is wrong for our glorious versus inglorious segments, or want to ask us a question or give us some smack talk, send us an email at swlingloriousblasters@gmail.com. Check out our Facebook and Instagram. Search for The Inglorious Blasters, Star Wars Legion Podcast, and Instagram at SWL Inglorious Blasters. All right. So, let's go to our mailbag. Hooray. We've got mail.
We did.
Mailbag.
Using that email that Koray just talked about.
That's right.
So, mailbag. We got an email that says, "Hi, I'm Noah. I'm a big fan and I have a question. I was wondering what would be a good upgrades for General Grievous, Darth Maul, B1 battle droids, Dark 1 Sith probe droids, Stap Riders, and the AAT Trade Federation battle tank." That was a pretty open question, so I asked a follow-up question. Do you mean in one list or just in general? What would be good updates? And Noah came back with, in one list. He wants all of these units in one list.
You got it, Noah. Let's do it.
So, before we get into this, I want to say I am not a fan of putting all of these in one list because there's no synergy. I can't figure out what the list is trying to do. I might be a madman and think of things like shooting my own guys, or traveling back in time, but I still have a cohesive idea of what I'm trying to do with the list. This list feels like it's trying to do too much.
That's fair. That's fair. I feel like you could drop before we get into it. I feel like you could drop a stat and add like more regular battle droids just to up your activation count. And I don't think it's that bad. You can hide Grievous and Maul behind the tank. It's fine. I think that's the play here.
I agree. If you drop the stat, you get 2 more B1s. Then we're talking a better list. Rolling. Yeah. But so what I thought of for upgrades, because after all these units together and having to take the minimum 3 B1s, you have less than 100 points to work with in upgrades. So what I thought of is General Grievous is obviously taking his pistol because free.
Because it's free.
And I'm thinking improvised orders. This list doesn't feel like it's going to be great on order control, so you might want improvised orders.
That's a good call.
Maul, I mean, this is kind of a pick your flavor sort of a thing, but I think with Maul, you want force push, and then you have the choice between saber throw and barrier. In this particular one I put together, I gave him saber throw. This list isn't packing much of a punch, and if you run into some dark troopers, that saber throw is going to be huge.
Yep.
And as well as I gave him tenacity and into the fray, which are pretty classic ones to put on him. You could also probably drop the tenacity and give him seize the initiative if you need to make sure you have an order on him on some other turns.
Whatever your flavor might be. Yeah.
Right. Because of the rest of the list, I went 2 B1s with the PK series worker droid and 1 B1 with the medical droid, because the medical droid can heal Grievous or Maul. And then the PKs, because honestly I think the best idea is to use the tank to protect Maul and Grievous to get up there. So
yes.
You want to make sure the tank's alive as long as possible, so it's some PK worker droids. The probe droids with the comms relay, because the ability to bounce that order to either start off the B1 chain or get the B1 chain up to the probes to bounce to Maul is huge. The STAP, I have no upgrades on. And then the tank, I put the T-Series tactical droid pilot to get rid of AI and gave it high energy shells.
Nice.
So with the improvised orders choice, the saber throw and tenacity choices, it came to 795 out of 800. So you still have, if you want to go straight to 800, you got something to work with there. But that's what I came up with. There's, I think, one of the best strategies with the list as is depending on the table, you use the tank to get Grievous up the field, and you probably infiltrate with Maul. So then they're scared of Maul going into one flank, and then you have Grievous with a wall in front of him and coming up the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Seems good to me. Given the parameters that we were given. I could see this list working for sure. Like with the game plan intended, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the 5-point bid. You could put recover the supplies in your battle deck because Maul loves that one.
Yeah,
I mean, and then KP, like you have the tank to go sit on the center KP. There's lots of cool stuff you could do with this.
Yeah, and if you don't like the 5-point bid, you could easily just put seize the initiative on Grievous.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
it's got some flex. Cool. Well, yeah, I appreciate
I racked my brain. I couldn't come up with any other ways to go about building this, but I tried.
No, I think you did well. I think that's something I would come up with too. Appreciate the email, Noah.
Yeah, I mean, this was a great theory craft for me, building a CIS list, because I have been painting my CIS lately. I've recently finished painting Dooku, Maul, and just about done Ventress and the Super Tac. Nice. I had put together 2 AATs during the stream of day 3 of Nova. So
Excellent. Good.
we're getting there. Unfortunately, it's been way too hot to do any priming, so I'm waiting for the weather to get back to normal.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Yeah, looks like this coming weekend, because we're recording before the weekend. So hopefully, by the time Ministravaganza comes around, I will have more stuff painted and at least primed. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, sweet. How about we get on to some AMG news, right? So we've got a couple things to talk about. We got a store champ clarification. So let's go over that first. Brendan, do you want to hit the highlights of it?
The highlights are basically store champs are required to have 16 people play. I'm a little disappointed in that, but I understand where they're coming from. I wish that had been better clarified before this, because I know there were a lot of invites handed out at events that had fewer than 16 people. And this is 16 people have to have played in round 1. This is not 16 people signed up for the tournament. So if you intend to be running an event or attending an event, make sure you've got some people on standby, just to make sure that you guys hit the 16 person requirement. If it's people who already have invites, they can be the people to come in and fill in if necessary, or there's options you can work around. So I just hope that if you're running an event, make sure you've got 16 people who can play. Maybe have 1 or 2 on standby, because sometimes things come up day of. They have offered an ability to ask if you can get exceptions for any parts of the requirements by emailing op@Atomic Mass Games. So maybe you live in a sparsely populated area and the best you can do is 8 people without having people travel from 6 hours away. So if that's something that you can help prove to them, I would recommend reaching out. It doesn't hurt to ask for permission. So,
right.
A little disappointing that that's the case, but I understand where it's coming from. I just hope that it gets changed next year to not necessarily need 16, because 16's a lot, and 4 games in a day is a lot. I mean, you can do other things about it, but it is tough when a lot of people do have families. So they have other obligations than to play the game we all love. So I'm hoping that it's more clear and a little bit more flexible in the future.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah, I basically mirror all of Brandon's thoughts. I'm glad we have clarification now. Just kind of stinks it's, we have it now rather than sooner. But that's okay. We still got it now. What I'm wondering is they might have already clarified this, but if your store handed out an invite already and you weren't supposed to, can you redo it? No.
Your store has to have the physical product for all the prizes. So if your store wanted to redo, they have to get a new box.
They have to get a new box.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if
I know they're
a store's
cheap, but
distributor will be willing to let them get a new box or not. That's something between the stores and the distributors. But if a store wishes to redo a store championship to meet the 16-person requirement, they must have a new box, or at least all of the prizes. So if all the people who participated return all the cards that were given, I guess that could be a way to do it. But again, it's an unfortunate situation, but this is what AMG has said.
It's probably the cleanest way to do it, I guess. Just get a brand new kit, and you have to hand out those prizes. Like, it's... Okay. All right. Moving along. All right, so then we also got... Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say next is Ministravaganza. We're dropping this on a Tuesday. It's this coming Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. There are a total of 6 Legion-specific events during Ministravaganza. All of these times are Pacific time. I'm not going to go through figuring out the math for other time zones. So on Thursday, the 14th of September, there is at 3 p.m. Pacific, Star Wars Legion War Table Spec Ops. So we're going to get some new stuff on Spec Ops. And at 4 p.m. Pacific, Star Wars Legion Battle Colors, The Hives of Geonosis. That sounds like probably a paint stream with Geonosians, which that should be cool because hopefully they'll give us more info on Geonosians.
A unit card would be nice, please.
That would be amazing.
That'd be amazing.
On Friday, the 15th, the 2 Legion events are at 4 p.m., which is Star Wars Legion Battle Colors Empire's Elite. My guess is Inquisitors. And 5:30 p.m. Star Wars Legion Battle Forces Across the Galaxy. That sounds like some more news on Battle Forces, which sounds exciting.
I love new Battle Forces, so bring them on.
And then on Sunday, Saturday, the 16th, we've got at 9 a.m. Pacific, the first thing of the day, Star Wars Legion Roadmap. That will be the big thing where they outline everything that they got going on for Legion in the near future that they're allowed to talk about. So that'll be huge. And then right after that at 10 o'clock is Star Wars Legion Battle Colors, The Republic's Finest. A lot of people are assuming that's going to be a paint stream with maybe the Bad Batch. Or my tinfoil hat theory, it's going to be Republic Commandos. So,
I'm excited for all of it. Whatever they show me, doesn't matter.
Now, my only complaint is I'll be playing in a store championship ideally on the Saturday, so I won't be able to put my full attention onto the stream.
That's okay.
I know. Good thing it's on.
You know what's more important? Get in that sweet World's invite, so you can come party with me.
Yeah, right now I'm waffling, so we're fine.
No more waffling.
Nope, it's waffle time. I'm just not going into the past. I'm looking at more contemporary lists that are out of the box.
Oh, okay, good. You're looking at more modern things. Got it. May I interest you in a fine IG-88, sir?
Oh, I do like IG-88.
He's so good.
Nah. Whatever it is, it's probably Empire.
It's probably, yeah. That's a safe bet, because all of your Empire's painted, not so much all of your droids.
I mean, not all of my Empire's painted. I still haven't finished my ATST or my Gav tank.
Those just spray it gray and just put a wash and you're done. Don't do that. That's a terrible idea.
No. Yeah, and I need to get more for the Empire at some point. I only have 2 speeder bikes. That is part of the reason I've never played Blizzard Force.
Oh, okay. Got it. I gotcha.
So, I am lacking in certain areas with my collection. But
yes.
The only other news we've got from AMG was an email that was sent out, well, not a message sent out, because apparently with all the information about OP, some people have made poor decisions on how they are talking online or talking to AMG and others, and are being terrible, terrible human beings. So AMG made sure to send out, hey, look, we're open to criticism, we're open to feedback, but be respectful in how you do it. Don't threaten anyone. The fact that people are threatening anybody over plastic miniatures game, my mind can't comprehend this. I mean, yeah. I understand passion, but this is a game that, nobody needs in their life. This is something we all love to do, but if all of a sudden it was gone, nobody's life is over because of it. There's no reason to threaten people about it.
We are better than this, so don't be a jerk, everyone. Just if you have criticism, just be polite. That's really it. Simple as that.
we tend to be a pretty positive podcast, and if we have issues, we'll say something, but we'll say it in the nicest way we can. It's never somebody's fault. We're not blaming anyone for things. We're especially not wishing harm on anyone at any point because I don't agree with how you did this, blah, 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 blah. No, not at all. So, if you are one of those people, one, you're a horrible person, and two, AMG is going to make sure you are then banned from all events. So, if you care so much as to threaten people, you clearly don't care enough to still want to play this game with people.
Yeah. The corrective action will be taken from AMG, right? They're gonna get rid of those people. They want them out of the community. Yeah. So that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, this has been the nicest player base in general I have ever met for anything.
Agreed. Absolutely.
And the fact that there are people like that is disappointing. But we're all better than that. So I ask everyone to, help police that, because we don't want to be associated with people like that. And police your local communities. Make sure that you don't have a toxic player in there, because that will turn people off from the game.
Yeah, Legion's growing very much exponentially, right? I feel like the last 2 months at my local store, there have been like 5 new people that have come in and be like, hey, I just bought into the game. Do you mind if I watch like you guys play your game so I have an idea of the rules? And I'm like, yeah, we want more people. We want this to grow. We want it to be a nice, warm, welcoming hobby, right? Yeah. It's just we're playing with plastic toys.
Yeah.
It's not that serious.
We are adults, or in the case some of our listeners are, teenagers.
Right.
We're playing with toys. We're spending time on plastic that we then paint. This isn't anything crazy that people need to threaten each other on.
Right. We're not making political decisions. Right. We don't have very high official jobs, right? We're just rolling dice.
No. The only politics we will discuss are that of a galaxy far, far away. All right?
Yep. That's it.
And the Empire was a legitimate government.
We'll discuss R2-D2's war crimes, but that's about it. Okay. Again, don't be a jerk. Be cool to your fellow Legion players, right? And everyone else in the world.
Just everyone in general.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Moving along from that. They have a new website. Holy cow.
New website.
Heck yeah. Go AMG.
It's been 2 years since we were told about that.
That's right.
The website is very brand new. It popped up today, the day we're recording. There's still obviously some kinks with it, so bear with that. There was a lot of wild speculation because certain things were visible in certain drop-downs, and people disliked my logic going, this is probably not finished, and people probably just copied and pasted lists into things. So
yeah, Brendan's referring to, like, you could see that the First Order and
Scum and Villainy were in the Legion drop-down, but those are not factions in Legion. But that's they are in X-Wing, so they probably just took a Star Wars list and pasted it in all the Star Wars drop-downs.
I mean, it would be cool. It would be cool to be proven wrong. But, new website, hooray. They're working on it.
They've got mercenaries in Legion. I don't see a Scum and Villainy faction happening, and I don't think there's enough variety for First Order for Legion. So
I agree. I think at most it might be a Battle Force, which would be cool.
Yes, the Battle Force could be cool.
And like, that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think at best you could do a Battle Force and have like 3 characters. Well, maybe 4.
Yeah. It would be neat if they released it in the Shadow Collective starter box as well.
That could work. For both the First Order,
a hero or 2, and then a bunch of stuff. Yeah. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I agree. At best, they're a Battle Force. They're not a full faction.
Yeah. We could dream. Oh,
They
we
know
could
there
dream.
is
I just want
enough.
bug boys. Show me the
No,
bug
no,
boys.
Gungans.
I mean, show me bug boys and Gungans, and then
Okay.
everyone's happy.
Now, when Gungans finally come out, all right, I guarantee one of my tables is just going to be a green plane.
No terrain.
No terrain.
Well, hold on. You're forgetting the shield wall that they had up.
It went down.
I mean, you could at least start the battle with that up.
No, I have been actually looking for files to try and make like a Naboo Plains table.
Yeah.
You know, with some destroyed AATs and make maybe part of an MTT on there because those things are huge.
Those things are gigantic.
Or
Don't use the whole thing.
Or a shield generator for the Gungans. Somebody really needs to make like some STLs for the Gungan catapults and the
Oh yeah.
the
Those catapults
Fambas
are cool.
carrying the Boombas. But
I know there's Gungan files, but I just don't know if like those units specifically are there.
no.
Either way.
Not that I've seen, at least, in my research. If somebody knows of some great files, please send them to my way, because I definitely want to have a Gungan table ready but for when that eventually happens.
Yeah. Send them our way. That'd be fun. All right, Brendan, you got anything else before we?
It's a plain field.
Yeah.
Maybe with a hill on one side.
All right, Brendan, you got anything else before we close this show?
No. Just, I hope everybody enjoyed this episode, even though we got a little less goofy than usual towards the end here. And, I hope everybody enjoys all the news we get at Ministravaganza, because just a reminder, X-Wing and Armada are getting no news, and I am sorry for those players.
It's yeah. I am hopeful that they will eventually get news. Maybe this is not the time for them. Let me just put it that way. So Legion's doing great.
Yeah,
which I'm thankful for.
Legion has plenty to still grow into, unless more Star Wars content happens with capital ships and starfighters. X-Wing and Armada are a little slower on getting new product. So
yeah, yep.
But we should get a lot of fun news. I'm really excited, and I cannot wait to run 2 spinning lightsabers.
Yes. Yeah, some Inquisitors. Yep, absolutely.
They better have jump. If not,
They better have hover 1.
No, jump.
Hover 1, throw
I
10
just
white
need
dice.
Jump lightsabers in the Empire, okay?
All right, fine. Jump
That's
1.
all I want.
Jump 1 with a command card that gives you hover 2.
Hover doesn't make sense on that. they Koray,
It doesn't. I just want it.
they
for no
never
reason.
they never hover. It's more of a fly. They never stay in like one spot like a helicopter, even though they have helicopter blades. They're always moving. So it's only jump.
All right, fine. On a technicality.
Science.
I can't wait to prove you wrong when they show me that hover 1. Okay, everyone, we're getting slap happy. I'm Koray.
I'm Brendan.
Stay glorious, everyone.